Hi, this is Don on YouTube. I'm continuing the series on Mary and the Date Tree. Um, in this episode, we're going to kind of just explore things in more depth. There's a lot of things to consider, so I don't have a definite plan of where I'm going here. I'm just going to kind of try to bring some things together. One of the things is the Catholic Church and their stance on Mary. At some point, they declared her co-redemptrix with Jesus, and so then they started heralding, right around 2K, the turn of the millennium, that the Marian age was about to begin. You saw this quite often in the news, whatever. So the logical question to ask at this point, anyways, is where is Mary? Is she out in the desert someplace, or I mean, it's kind of at this point it's kind of overdue. You know, this is 20 years later, and I'm not aware of there was an incident at some point. I don't remember the exact year or anything. It was like on the front page of the local news, Minneapolis Tribune, that this guy had gotten a vision or something that Mary was going to appear up north someplace, and so then, if you followed the stories, at a certain point later, when the day she was supposed to appear, nothing happened. So it's like, where's Mary? Now, I don't know if this was before 2K or after. It doesn't really matter. What actually happened due to that uh, episode or event, non-event, is that Catholic uh, TV station was started on top of the IDS. It was EWTN. That started broadcasting. That was all because of this Mary thing. That was the direct result. Some rich guys or something, decided to start up a station. So, anyways, that's the Catholic point of view, whatever. Mary's big thing, big deal. Now, the other aspect that I wanted to mention is kind of losing my train of thought after that narrative. Palmyra is in Syria. Now, that's you can look up this stuff on Wikipedia. Now, I'm not going to try to totally describe this, but Palmyra was kind of like Jerusalem. It got destroyed by the Romans, and but it was a much later incident, and the city of Palmyra continued as a small community after the destruction. So it did continue for a while, but then at some point they razed that town and built another town next to it, which still exists. But during this recent Syrian civil war, a lot of this Palmyra stuff, artifacts, archaeology, whatever you want to call it, got destroyed by fanatics of Islam, I suppose. So you can try to figure that angle out too if you want to, but I don't know how productive that's going to be. But Palmyra did have some significance. So I don't know if the Essenes were there or if another group was there, or I'd have to study it a little bit more. But there is a significance to the name Palmyra. It's something to do with palms or something. So that's another aspect that we can get into. As far as the Gospels themselves, we're going to get a lot of information from that also, but it's in regard to something totally different than what we're accustomed to thinking about. Zoroastrianism was a philosophy, it wasn't a religion, but it had tremendous importance for, I think, all three religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And that's kind of where we have to go to figure this stuff out, because when the Gospels talk about the wise men coming to find Jesus to give him gifts and all that stuff, that's very Zoroastrian. What happened was the Zoroastrians were located in Persia originally, and that's how it fits together with the New Testament stories of the Magi. If we're just talking about Jewish history or traditions or something, I guess the Magi are not that important to the story. They might as well not even be there. But then when you start thinking about how it relates to Zoroastrianism, the battle between the sons of light and the sons of darkness, all of a sudden it starts making a lot of sense why they're there. Yeah, they want to find out if Jesus, these three gifts, depending on which one Jesus goes for, that's what he's going to be. He's either going to be like a healer or a prophet or a king. So it turns out, in other stories, in the Eastern, on the Arabic, whatever, that Jesus chooses all three, and so he's the whole shooting match. So that's the kind of stuff you're going to find out when you read that book that I mentioned in the first video, In Search of the Birth of Jesus, showing how all this stuff in the Old Testament, the New Testament, it's all inspired by Zoroastrianism in this, like you have the brother stories in the Old Testament, Isaac and Esau and Jacob, and it's all related to Zoroastrianism and what that was about. So I'm going to stop here and hash this over a little bit more in my mind before I continue. But I hope that gives you a little bit better understanding of where we're going here.